And what's up, YouTube? So I know it's been a while since I've uploaded anything significant, but I'm a Peace Corps volunteer, so it's just been kind of crazy the last few months with the holidays and with school ending for the year and trainings, and it's just a whole lot going on. But I'm filming this today because I had a bit of a realization over the holidays. I was lucky enough to go home for the holidays, which was something I am eternally grateful for, and I think that it's really going to help me as I move forward into year 2. So I realized that food is really a medicine for me, and when I was home I was eating just everything that I could because I'm not used to having those types of comfort food around me, and I was always going out with friends, with family, to have lunch, to have dinner, to have coffee, to have all of these things to make the most of the 2 weeks that I had to see everybody. And by the end of it, or honestly by like the end of the first few days, I started feeling like really physically sick, and it wasn't really good for my mental health either. The whole point of my Campo kitchen series that I wanted to do was to learn how to cook by using the resources that are available to me or easily accessible. And in my case, as I've explained before, there aren't any supermarkets or markets really of any kind in my sight, and so the food that I use to make the things that I do or that I have done comes from despensas, which are like little stores run out of people's homes. Or it will be from gifts from neighbors or from my host family or from teachers and the students at the school that I work at from their garden, or ideally from my garden, but that hasn't really been a reality this year though. So that was the whole point of it, and I was also trying to save money on food because I'm a Peace Corps volunteer, I don't get paid that much, and so I just had this idea that I should be living as frugally as possible. But having gone back home and realizing how much food really does affect my physical and mental health, I've decided that it's important for me to invest a little bit more in the food that I eat, so that I can feel a lot healthier when I'm out and about in my community and living my Peace Corps life. What I did upon getting back to Paraguay, I had a little bit of time in the capital, mostly because my bus wasn't running, because it's been raining. So I had some days to spare against my will in the capital, and so I took a trip to one of the fancier supermarkets there to get some staple foods that I think will last me for a bit. I try not to shop in Asuncion because it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to do it because I would have to get it the day before I leave, so it requires a lot of planning, of which I'm not super great about, and it also has to survive a 5 to 6 hour bus ride, depending on how fast my bus is going. So traveling with produce on a hot bus in the height of summer for 6 hours does not usually go very well. It was really expensive. It was very expensive, and I can talk about that when I show you what I have purchased. But I do think that it is worth it in the long run, or I hope that it will be worth it in the long run. I think it will, to help me feel a little bit better about what I'm consuming. With all that being said, I'm going to show you guys what I've purchased. So most of the stuff that I bought is in this bag, which is also part of the purchase. It was a kind of a heavy part of the purchase. It was $25, or mil. It was 25 mil. I'm trying my hardest to be as conscious as possible, and I didn't bring my reusable bag because I wasn't prepared to go shopping. So I bought this from the place that I went, Costa Rica, and I have most of the food that I got in here. So we'll just start with the little stuff. So This is, as you can see, it's quinoa. Jeez, how much was this? I have the receipt. Yeah, so this quinoa was 36 mil, and that's usually about my entire grocery bill for like a trip to the despensa. So this was super steep, but especially on like the average day-to-day food, I usually cook some sort of stir fry and I use rice. I honestly really like quinoa, and I thought it might be a good healthy alternative. It's also really rich in protein, and I don't eat meat in my house, so it'll be a good way to get some of those nutrients that I'm missing otherwise. So this is probably the most expensive thing that I bought. I think it is. The next most expensive thing, and this was kind of frivolous, when I want a snack here, I will usually go buy ice cream from my host mom's despensa, or I'll get these just beautiful cookies. They're just beautiful, called Neos. And those are like 4 mil, and they're so freaking good, and they used to last a while, but as time has gone, I have eaten entire bags in 2 nights. So for that reason, I decided to get something else that I could munch on that's a little bit better for me, and so I got some granola, which is banana, grape, and honey. So I can eat this on its own. I can also get some yogurt in sight pretty easily to dress it up. The yogurt here is, it's just straight liquid. It's kind of like a beverage. They call it like a yogurt drink. So it's nice to have something like this to put inside of it to like kind of thicken it up a little bit, you know. So those are the 2 priciest things on my list. Black beans, which are something that I can't find in sight. It's not bean season right now. I have been gifted black beans from neighbors. They ended up sprouting because they weren't dry all the way, and then I couldn't. It was just bad. I didn't know anything about how to store beans, so I couldn't eat them. But so I'm hoping that these will hold me over for until the next few months when beans are starting to be harvested again. And I'll probably mostly get red beans, but this is again another way to get some protein. Oh, those black beans, by the way, were about 9 mil. So it's still pretty expensive, but it's not too bad. Especially for, this is like a half a kilo of beans, which is pretty good. This will last me a bit. Peanut butter. Peanut butter. It doesn't say how much it is on here. Ah, yes. This was 19 mil. This brand of peanut butter is dope. This is the natural flavor, which I kind of had to look really hard to find because they have so many different flavors of peanut butter. The last one I got, I think I got like vanilla and coconut. It was like really, really good, but I decided to just go natural for this time. Peanut butter, I'm sensing a theme with the protein. It's just another really nice snack to have. I can get bananas almost always in sight, so some peanut butters and bananas, it will go good with my granola, so it's just another kind of thing to have for when I feel snacky. I can also put it on bread. Which brings us to whole wheat flour. I've been really looking for whole wheat flour. The thing that's a bummer about this harina integral is that it doesn't keep for a very long time, so I've been really wanting to make whole wheat bread, and I've been gifted chia seeds and sesame seeds, so I would love to put some of those seeds in this bread. I need to use this pretty quickly, so I'll probably be like baking some bread when it's not so hot. Can you tell how sweaty I am? I thought about like trying to look good for this video, but I'm just in a constant state of sweat, so this is just, it's just easier this way. It's better for everybody. So when it's not too hot, I'm going to do some baking and bake myself some bread that I can have with my peanut butter, or bake some bread to give out, just because baking bread is also just such a nice like activity. Like it's just so, it's like therapeutic almost. Cheers. there's not that much left. I got some yerba. I'm not usually a fan of things that are advertised as fitness or for weight loss or anything like that, but the flavor of this yerba is so good. I think I had it with one of my pro-phase once, and she told me that this is what she used, and I've been obsessed with it ever since. It's not something that I can get in my community, so when I saw the opportunity to get it while I was at Costa Rica, I did. It's about 10 mil. That's a normal price for this size, for almost all yerba. So it's like a little bit more expensive, but it's negligible, really. Related, I got some chamomile tea. Yeah, I also can't get this in my dispensas. I want to start using chamomile to get to sleep at nights, or just as a good end to my evenings. Have a sip of some chamomile. I have the same, I really like this brand of tea. I have the same brand for mint tea and green tea, and I love mixing the two together. But that's my morning mix, and so I wanted to have a nighttime tea. And then I drink today for the rest of the 12 hours of the day. So I got some soy milk. It's about 10 mil, this soy milk. I got 2 of them because soy milk lasts a long time as long as you don't open it. So I am not normally a milk drinker, but on rare occasions the recipes that I use call for milk, and I just prefer to use soy milk. I'm not lactose intolerant, but I do have a sensitivity, and the milk here, it's incredible. I get gifted so much milk and so much milk and cheese, but it's not pasteurized, the milk, because it's just fresh cow's milk, which is great. But my biome is not used to that, and I can't really stomach it that well, so I want to keep the soy milk on deck for that purpose. And this is my bag of veggies, so I'm not really sure. I think I should probably change the bag because it's a little damp in there from all the condensation from the traveling. So I have this spinach, which was about 9 mil, so it's about the price of my tea, for example. I got 2 little globs like this, and they already aren't really looking that great. I need to absorb some of the moisture, but when it comes to greens, I definitely prefer spinach, so it's nice to have these on hand. I also got this giant sweet potato. Looking forward to making some tacos or a roasted sweet potato or literally just anything. I love sweet potato.
My favorite fall vegetable.
I got this really tasty looking eggplant. It's getting kind of squishy, so it's about high time that I use this to make something, perhaps for a Campo kitchen video. And last but certainly not least are cucumbers. I have 2 of them. This is the better looking one. I grabbed this because I want to start doing some pickling. Okay, so that's it for my haul. In total, it was about 175 mil, and that's including the 25 for the bag, for the reusable bag, and so it's about 150 mil for food. And I'm hoping, at least as far as the beans and the quinoa and the granola too, I'm hoping that it'll last me for a bit. Oh, and the soy milk. So I won't have to spend that much that frequently, but from now on, like I said, I'm wanting to prioritize my food, and so I'm hoping to spend, or I'm planning to spend about 200 mil on food a month. We'll see how that goes. This of course means I have to plan a few more trips, at least once a month, to the closest pueblo that has a supermarket, so I can get variety in vegetables like eggplant and sweet potato and cucumber and spinach and all of that, at least to hold me over until about March or April when I'm able to plant my own garden, but of course I won't be able to harvest until probably May or June, more likely. So that's the plan moving forward. I really want to prioritize getting my food that is going to make me feel healthy and happy. It is definitely going to be more of a time suck, more of a money suck, but it's something that I know is important and that it's going to help me in the long run. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully it provided a little bit of an insight to what a more fancy grocery trip in the capital looks like. Not every site is just Despensas. Some have supermarkets that have vegetables like this on hand. You don't have to travel 6 hours on a bus to get them to your house. But that's my reality, and it is the reality of a few of my fellow volunteers. So just keep in mind when it comes to Peace Corps, and I guess life in general, is that everyone's circumstances are different, and expectations shouldn't exist. They just shouldn't exist. You're gonna have them, but remind yourself that they shouldn't exist. Anyway, that's it for this one, and I'll see you the next time. Bye.